Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, and on with the video. Good evening. SHTF Garden coming at you with another update. Alright, so this one we're going to talk about some lettuce shortages that's happening. And also, I want to talk about garden prep just for a second before we get into the video. Myself, I want to be able to make sure that I try and eliminate as many weeds during the off season as possible, because it gets to be a cold winter here where I'm at, so I won't be able to grow anything for the next 4 or 5 months. And so, got some silage tarp. And silage tarp, I think I paid about $110 for it on Amazon. But it's like 30 by 50 or something like that, 32 by 54, or some really big size tarp, one massive tarp. And the idea is going to be to cover the entire garden beds, pots, whatever I got, walkways, pathways, just one big giant tarp to cover every single thing. Take down my trellis and all that stuff. I've got everything pretty much cleared out of the area, so I can set that down and then let it sit for 4 or 5 months to kill every blade of grass, every weed, everything, everywhere. That way I'm not trying to battle so much weed pressure to try and maximize production. I mean, we were in a Master Gardener meeting the other day, and they were talking about all the different gardening projects coming up. I should make a whole nother video about that. And the main focus of that, aside from community outreach and helping out flood victims and that kind of stuff, was that with the way the food prices and shortages are going, it's more important now than ever to teach children how to garden, teach people how to grow their own food, teach people how to be able to have some semblance of some self-reliance on it in the food front, so that people don't starve to death. That was being talked about in the Master Gardener meeting. So anyways, without further ado, I want to talk about this right here. So try and keep it to be a relatively short video. I have a tendency of rambling. Anyway, so here from LinkedIn, we're talking about a lettuce shortage going on, and maybe some people have noticed that prices have gone up quite a bit. If you can find it as available as you could before. Some places are not even putting lettuce on sandwiches and things like that anymore because the prices have gone up so high. So let's go on to the next one. It's a little bit of a clickbaity headline they have here. With major fast food chains facing shortage of this key ingredient. What key ingredient might that be? It's lettuce. So here we go, talking about from New York Post and Restaurant Business Online are reporting a 378% increase in lettuce prices. 378% increase. The food has not gone up that high. I'm not paying 378% more for food than I was before. Substantially higher, yes, but not almost 4 times higher. So, not yet, anyway. So that means somebody somewhere is either having to cut these particular foods that are going out like this, cut them out completely, or somebody's having to eat the cost, and the cost is going up. So anyways, lettuce, 378% increase in price. Now, through the slide in here, not to be a shill for any particular vendor for seeds, but I just wanted to show that lettuce, in this particular case, the seeds are easily available and they are cheap. So instead of paying 378% increase, you can spend $2 and get a whole seed packet that's probably got 1,000 little seeds in there, a couple of hundred of seeds. I mean, lettuce seeds are very small. 100 seeds, $2, whatever the amount of seeds are in there, but there's gonna be a lot. And if you don't have $2, if you look into your Master Gardener's Extension office, or if you look at seed libraries, if you can find one of those, you can search online, try and find seed libraries near you, and you can maybe get some free seeds from your community, any kind of community garden setup, any kind of agriculture extension office, Master Gardeners Extension office, universities, ag programs, seed libraries, like I said, neighbors and friends. So we need to be able to make these seeds available if you have some and anybody needs them, or if you don't have that option, then now you need to be saving up. You need to be getting some seeds and stockpiling them away. Like I said, $1, $2, go to Dollar Tree, 25 cents for a pack of seeds, because you don't know what kind of availability and what kind of stuff you're going to have, and it's all going to be important for us to grow. I can't stress that enough. So anyways, here's a free seed resource. I picked this one just because it happened to pop up on Google for the OSU Extensions office. I'm sure there's an extension office near wherever you live. If you're in the United States, if you're outside the United States, I'm sure whatever area you live in has something similar. So Master Gardeners Extensions, good resource to try and find some free seeds. All right, potatoes. Up, this is in Germany right here, but what goes around comes around. So prices may not be up 73% where you're at, but if they're up 73% in one place, the price increases are going to spread, because anybody who has any money, if they're a country or a food chain store or whatever, they're going to be looking to buy on the open market. So that's going to drive prices up anywhere else, because if somebody can buy it, they will at a lower price. So in Germany, these prices of potatoes up 73%. Also found all kinds of other articles talking about, from the restaurant standpoint, French fries and that kind of stuff, prices increase. But it's not just French fries, it's potatoes in general. So let's look at some of these numbers. So Germany's becoming more and more expensive. Yeah, no kidding, especially since the gas is no longer going to be flowing, no longer is flowing to the same level it was before. So look at some of these here. You got price for herbal products up 26% in September. Now that's before all that stuff happened with that pipe. Grain costs up 41% more than a year ago. Here again, not today. This is, those figures haven't come in yet. Potato prices up 73%. Vegetables up 22.8%. Cucumbers 48%, and they're very easy to grow. Cauliflower 29.2%. Not as easy to grow. You need some cooler weather for that. Where I'm at up north, I don't have too much problems with it. Cauliflower is a little bit of a pain when it comes to pests. Same thing with cabbage, 24.5%. If you watch any of my old videos talking about SHTF crops, I'm a big fan of cabbage for an SHTF crop, although many people are not because of some drawbacks it has, like pests. But if you grow them in cool weather, the little white butterfly is not as prevalent, or some netting. But regardless, I digress. Animal prices up 43%. Pig prices increased 63%. Now, like I said, this is in Germany. But these price increases are happening everywhere, and they're coming to a grocery store near you. Anyway, so let's look at some fertilizer. If you go back to some old videos at the beginning of the year, I was talking about fertilizer price increases due to the conflicts that's been going on, and I was urging everybody to stock up. Like I have a 5-gallon bucket full of 12, 12, 12, and I have a few other ones, and I have some bags and things like that, because if I see it on sale, I pick it up. If I see it, randomly, I will pick it up. It doesn't matter. I like to grow organic if possible, but, I'm not going to stick to that. And, I'm not going to choose starvation. That's never going to be an option. So I will compost and do the other stuff. But if I need some Miracle-Gro, I'm going to use some Miracle-Gro if that's all I've got, because you can find it and it's cheap and it's accessible for the moment. Cheaper anyways. But the prices are going up. So let's look at some of this. So they're trying to put a little lipstick on this and saying, oh, it's, half and half. It's kind of some mixed results, evenly mixed. We got, it's only slightly up from last month, but they're not really looking at it. I think this is more not to spook the market than anything. So look at these prices. $1,434 a ton, $931 a ton. Let's look at this chart. Boom. All right. So here is some anhydrous prices, some fertilizer prices. And look at this purple line here. That's your 2020 line. And as you can tell, the end of 2020, and even went up some in December, all of these seem to be going up towards the end of the year. No surprise, wintertime. So you got, they're going to be, people's going to be making their purchases for spring. So you're 250, I'm guessing, somewhere in that area. $250 a ton. Around here, $250, $260 a ton. Now you look at where we go, jump up to 2022. We're about 5 times that high right here. You're up over $1,380, more like $1,400 or so a ton, versus 2 years ago when it was up 20% of that price. I mean, the price increase is insane. So it's only slightly up from last month. Yeah, so this to this, but look at this comparison to where we're at a year ago, where the 5-year average is. And that 5-year average has been pulled up by these two high prices. And where we were 2 years ago, when it was barely maybe hitting $200 a ton or something like that down here. This scale is not as accurate as it could be. So these prices have been going, I mean, as the price is going up, like I said earlier with the lettuce, it was 378%. Has it going up 400, 500% increases on food? It has not. But thinking about down the road, are these prices here are going to affect future food? So we're starting to feel some of these prices here, because this is what the costs were going into last year. So this is the input cost then, and we see the prices have gone up in the store because it went from this to this. So it went up a lot. I mean, it almost doubled, and we've all felt the pinch at the store. Now, what do you think next year's harvest and food prices are going to be when you go from this to this? So you're talking another doubling or more of cost from the already doubled cost we had from the year before. So this is all like future costs, because this is what they're paying now for crops that haven't been grown yet. So as those costs go into those crops that's being grown yet, they have to recoup those costs. This time next year, these prices are going to be based off of this input, not this input. Or definitely not this input. So make sure, if you see fertilizer, if you see resources of any type, tools, if you see anything that you can get to help you produce your own food, get it now. Get it any chance you can. All right, so let's talk about a few other prices going up. So you got milk, cheese, dry food inflation to 45-year high. That's coming in from the BBC. Boom, here's the chart that they had listed on that site here. You're talking, milk up almost 50%, 47.9. Margarine up 42.1. Pasta, which is one of my personal favorites, up 34%. And so on down the line. Everybody, I'm sure, has noticed eggs are much higher. In fact, it feels like it's higher than 22% to me, but that's supposedly what the number is. And your oils and fats is a little concerning, because if you are eating a lot of vegetable food, then there's not a lot of calories in there. This is one way to increase the calories if you need to. So this right here, flours and cereals, it's like a lot of grain products here. Pasta is another major grain product here. So these grain prices are really going to be kicking in. And of course, the animal prices with bird flu and all the destruction of all those animals is really kicking in with this right here. So there's a lot of price increases, and that's what we're seeing now, which is reflecting what prices were for input costs before, and input costs have more than doubled since then. So, not to put too fine a point on it, prepare. From my aspect, it's going to be buying whatever extra canned goods, pick up 1, 2, 3 extras when you go to the store. If you see a fertilizer, if you see something at the end of the year sale, like you go into Walmart or something, they have a few fertilizers bags in the corner and garden center in the back behind all the Christmas stuff that hasn't sold yet, and they're at deep discount. Pick them up. Pick you up an extra bag, because you don't know what the prices are going to be for that same bag of fertilizer, assuming it's even still in the store come springtime. And of course, nothing to see here. This is the most recent whenever I searched for the fertilizer plant fire. You ought to do that in Google, or maybe even better, go to Bing or DuckDuckGo or something that's not, the results aren't as skewed, and look at all the different results that come up with these fires, explosions, airplanes crashing into plants, and all that stuff. Anyways, this is the most recent one I saw in the search. Nothing to see here, just one of many fertilizer plants going down. So you got fertilizer plants and input costs out of control in Europe. They're basically shut down because they don't have the gas, and what gas they do have, they have to try not to freeze to death in the winter. You got gas production and things curtailed here in the United States. Also, what stuff we do have, we're also selling our reserves, selling our heating oil reserves, selling our strategic petroleum reserves, although I think that's cut off or will be cut off soon. But now you have to stockpile it all back up again and refill it. You got tons of different supply chain crisis. You've got things like this that just happen to have fires and explosions in our fertilizer plant. So here we go. It is what it is, right? So make sure you're paying attention. because you don't want to end up in a field looking like this. So how prepared are you? Get some of those lettuce seeds. Don't care where. Get them from your garden extension. Get them from Dollar Tree. Get them from an online store. Just make sure you got some seeds. Lettuce obviously is not the greatest when it comes to SHTF foods, but anything that you can grow yourself is something you don't have to buy. All right, that's it for SHTF Garden. I will talk to you again here soon. Have a good day.